Good morning, everybody. It's Mark Homan from Paul's Photo, and do I have something to talk to you about? And that's a macro lens. Not a lens to photograph fish or a fisheye lens, but a macro lens. And what is a macro lens? A macro lens is a specific lens that's optimized to take close-up pictures. And a macro lens should be in every photographer's bag because it allows us to get different pictures. It gets details, it gets fun stuff. But my favorite macro is the 2x macro, whether that's the 85, the 90, the 100, or the 105 macro, because this is probably the most versatile lens in my bag, because not only is it a macro lens, it's a portrait lens as well. So what do I mean by macro? So right here, I'm right down on the, coming in for focus, right here on the 2 pennies. Look at that, right? So playback right there. So that's what you get in close. So a macro lens is good for stamps and coins, stuff like that, but I also love it for photographing details. I love the power of macro photography. Macro photography is what sustained us through the pandemic. You know, my Be Creative series, half of the pictures were macro photos, pictures at home of machinery, small items. So we were able to photograph and get beautiful images. And that's right, you saw last week out in the garden here, our caterpillars, how fun that is to photograph. So macro lenses come in all shapes and sizes, but we've got here some of the full frame macro lenses. The Sony 90mm macro for all of the A7 cameras is an awesome lens. That's what I've got here today. Canon has the 85mm lens for the R series, one of my favorites. And this lens is gonna have a big brother, the new 100mm 2.8L macro for the R series, coming the end of July. If you want one of these lenses, you gotta get on the waiting list for them. They're gonna be so hot. You know, if you're a SLR photographer, the Canon 100 2.8 macro, the Nikon 105 2.8 macro. For Nikon Z people, we've got 2 macro lenses coming. The first delivery is going to be the end of June. Now, if you haven't ordered one of these already, you're not going to get one for a month or so, because the new 105 macro for the Z is going to be a smoking hot lens, $9.99. Got to get on the waiting list for that. The Nikon 50mm 2.8 macro for the Z lens, $649. You're going to have to get on the waiting list for that. You know what, Paul's Photo, we take care of you to help you get these hard to find items. Had 2 phone calls this morning from people from around the country saying, oh my gosh, I've never heard of Paul's Photo before, and you guys have this in stock? Yes, we have it in stock. We're a camera store. We have cameras, we have lenses, we have the information, the inspiration, whatever you need to make the pictures you want so that you can get out into your garden, your yard, and have fun doing macro photography. Mark Homan from Paul's Photo wishing everyone happy Monday. Be safe, everyone. Let's have some fun. And let's get out and make some beautiful macro pictures.